Hi traders, and welcome to my video on the center of gravity indicator, where I'm going to show you how you can use this indicator to catch moves such as this one that's 350 pips and counting. So I have the center of gravity indicator here below my chart. This is a 1 hour US dollar and Canadian dollar chart. You can use the center of gravity indicator on any trading instrument, Forex, crypto, stocks, commodities, indices, etc. And you can use it on any chart time frame. I'm using the one hour chart simply because I find signals to be more reliable on the higher chart time frames. That's the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. As I said, you can use it on any chart time frame. It's just the signals are going to be less reliable, especially if you're using it on the 1 minute, 5 minute, even 15-minute chart. Okay, so the center of gravity indicator here, I have it below my chart. As I said, the purpose of this indicator, the way I like to interpret it, is for finding entry signals within trending markets. Okay, I always like to trade with the trend because, as the saying goes, the trend is your friend. I'd much rather trade in the direction the market is moving than to try and pick a perfect reversal. That being said, I will look for reversals or pullbacks as an opportunity of entry into said trend. So we have our trend here. Okay, we had a downwards move here. Support level formed. Price initially short. We had a pullback and some consolidation. Again, the uptrend continued, followed by more consolidation and another pullback. And this is where I would have confirmed, if not before that, okay, this is a potential trend we're going to want to get some action from. Okay, there are many ways you can enter into a trend, whether you just want to use support and resistance like so. Breakout there. Okay, you can enter there. Breakout here. Arguably there, breakout. Okay. Many different ways you can enter into this particular trend, just using basic levels of support and resistance and trend lines. Okay, that being said, we're going to look at what the center of gravity indicator can do for us in terms of timing our entry into the trend. Okay, so we start around this area after we've had the pullback and the trend continuation. With the center of gravity indicator, you want the blue line to be above the red line if you're looking to go long, or the blue line to be below the red line if you're looking to go short. Okay, and if we zoom out, the higher the indicator, the more overbought the market is said to be. On the contrary, the lower the indicator, the more oversold the market is said to be. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to buy when the market is overbought. So if the center of gravity indicator is high like it is here and high like it is here, we probably want to avoid buying. So that's one thing straight off the bat the indicator does well, is it stops you from buying when the market is overbought, just as it will stop you from selling when the market is oversold. You wouldn't sell here. The market is sure the market is oversold, the market does reverse up. Probably wouldn't want to sell here. After this big move is shown, the market is oversold, the market moves up. Finally, you wouldn't want to sell here, is showing the market is oversold and the market moves up. So as you can see, it's a good way to filter your buying and selling trades so that you don't buy in an overbought or sell in an oversold market. Another thing I'm going to mention with the indicator is divergence. Divergence is basically when the indicator is making higher lows, it suggests the price is moving upwards. Okay, just as when the indicator is making lower highs, it suggests the market is moving downwards. You can see this downtrend here. Lower highs, price is falling. Okay, so that's divergence. And the third thing we're going to pick from this indicator, which is useful, is the crossover. Okay, so if we go back to entering this trend, okay, we can enter on a crossover of the center of gravity indicator. And I'm just going to mark a few off on the charts, okay? So basically, when the blue crosses the red in an upwards direction, that can be seen as a bullish signal. So we can mark that one off there. Okay. There's one there. Thing about this one, you would be cautious after all of this bullish activity. Do you really want to buy at this high? Probably not. You're going to want to wait for a pullback. Okay, so the best entries from my perspective are always going to be when the center of gravity oscillator has a pullback. So you can see this one was quite low. It wasn't yet in an overbought, potentially overbought area. So we can wait for a pullback like this one, even this one, okay, and then enter on the crossover when there's a pullback. So if I just mark off the crossovers on pullbacks, okay, you can see there are better entries than just entering on any old cross. Okay, don't get me wrong, there will be crosses you enter that are high up that would still, you know, not be bad entries, and there'll still be pips there for you to get. But generally you want to wait for a pullback to enter into a trend. Okay, as you can see there, another good example. Again, to reiterate the divergence to the upside, crossover upwards, pullback in the trend. You know, we can see it's trending. Let's get in on the action. Pull back there. Good entry. Pull back here. Another good entry. And by now, there's even one all the way up here. By now, we're going to be cautious. This trend has been going on a while, okay? We don't want to buy too high, okay? We want to wait for maybe, you know, either price to start going in the other direction and then form a new trend as kind of we are now. And then wait for a deeper pullback. Look at that one there. Okay. Then we're starting to look at, always keep an eye on the price and draw your support and resistance levels. Because if you had done that, you would see that this trend line has been breached here. So you might not be looking for buy trades still. You know, the trend is starting to turn. Wait again for the trend. Then you can start looking to get your entries on your pullback. All right, like here. Good thing about that entry, that's also a level of resistance that's now become support. Be interesting to see how this one plays out. Okay, in terms of money management, I'll zoom back out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now where my stop loss would be placed. So let's just say we took the entry here. My first stop loss would be below the low. It's around 15 pips. Very, very good stop loss for the 1 hour chart, especially when you consider this move has gone for 350 pips and counting. Plenty of profit potential. Then as price is moving up, I would just move my stop loss below the lows. So if price made it to here, I'd put my stop loss here. As price continues up and has a pullback, my stop loss would be moving up below these lows with it. Not necessarily after every candle. I'll wait for a trend, a pullback, and a continuation. And after the continuation, the stop loss will be put below the recent low on an uptrend or the recent high on a downtrend. And that way we can maximize the move as much as possible. If you do get taken out prematurely, you can always look for another cross as a point of entry. Just be cautious not to enter too late. You don't want to be selling at the top. Sorry, you don't want to be buying at the top. Selling at the top would be great. And then you've got the divergence. Always keep an eye on divergence. You can see now we've had plenty of bearish divergence. We've had the break below this trend line. You wouldn't be, perhaps be looking to take some profits here, close that part of your position. It's worth mentioning that as you're trailing the stop on the way up, you can close part of your position and bank some pips. Don't have to leave it all open. What I certainly wouldn't do is leave my stop loss here, because if price turns around and a winning trade of 100 plus pips turns into a losing trade, would not be a nice feeling. Okay, so you can see how the center of gravity indicator can be great for timing trades into a trend. I'd always look at candlestick patterns for confirmation along with support, resistance and trend lines. It can stop you from buying in overbought and selling in oversold conditions. And the divergence is great just to measure the momentum and direction of the trend. Okay, this is actually a really good trade playing out at the moment. Based on the center of gravity indicator, the stop loss would be below here. Initially, we perhaps have it under this low at the moment and just we would have locked in 15 pips profit and we'd just be waiting to see how this plays out. However, we have to be cautious that after this big move we might be in and around the high, but it's a pretty much a free trade at the moment. Okay, so that's the center of gravity indicator in an uptrend. In a downtrend, it's exactly the same principles. Just mark off the crossovers, this time to the downside, so you can see it crosses down there on a pullback. So a pullback would be when the price is higher for a sell trade rather than when it is lower. As you can see, when we were buying on the previous trend, we were looking for the crossover to be lower. We want the crossover to be higher here, and you can see that there's plenty of nice trading opportunities which the center of gravity indicator can do a great job of spotting for you. As always, make sure you're keeping an eye out on support and resistance. There you can see lots of good pullback entry opportunities. I do think sometimes the center of gravity indicator, whilst it's good visually, I mean, for those who want things spelled out for them, I can understand why you'd use this indicator. I'm marking the crossovers down if you wondering what I'm putting all these lines for. Every time the center of gravity indicator is crossing down in an overbought area, we're looking at getting into the trend, this long trend we see here, and this final one down there. Okay. By now we may be thinking that this trend has been exhausted, although there probably is. This is maybe not as overbought as you would like. So you'd be struggling, but you could always have taken that last little move there, but the divergence to the upside and all of this consolidation would start to keep us out of, we don't want to keep selling and ending up selling at the bottom. There was plenty of opportunity to get in on this trend, 2, 4, 6, 10 plus opportunities. The earlier the better. I mean, if we could have got in on this cross up here, fantastic entry. Again, stop loss would have been trailing on the highs, just locking in profit on the way down. So when the price does turn around, we've maximized the move as much as possible. Okay, so it's really straightforward indicator to use. I wouldn't use it as is. I mean, you can, but I'd prefer to keep an eye on the candlestick formation, support and resistance, and as always have good money management in place. Don't forget, if placing sell trades, you want the center of gravity to be as high as possible with the crossover to the downside. And when buying, if there's an uptrend, you want it to be as low as possible with the crossover to the upside, keeping in mind that if it gets too low, it may mean that we're heading in another direction. So yeah, I mean, this is, as I said, a 1 hour chart with over 350 pips and counting in the space of 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, it goes to show if you can catch good trends on higher chart time frames, it can make your life a lot easier. You don't need to watch charts all day long. 1 hour candles, just you could check the charts every hour. Set alerts for signals from indicators, or if price points have been reached. 300 pips. Imagine trying to get that on a 5-minute chart. If you're taking, let's say, 10 pips profit on a 5-minute chart, that means you need 30 winning trades without a loss to get 300 pips. And I mean 30 winning trades in a couple of weeks on the 5-minute charts for 10 pips. Good luck, and please do let me know if you can do that with a sensible stop loss, because let's be honest, 10 pips on the 5-minute chart, you're going to need what, a 10 pip stop loss at least, and that's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which isn't fantastic. You know, the risk to reward ratio on this, the initial trade on here had a 10 pip stop loss or something. Let's just say even at 20 pips, it had a 15 to 1 and at least 15 to 1 risk to reward ratio. It's gone 15 times plus the 15 pip stop loss. So yeah, you can cut losing trades short, but won't always be right. You might have took an entry here and price might have continued to fall. But if you're cutting your trade short and we're 15 pips here, 15 pips there, once we get the big moves, we can make that back and more. Okay, well, hopefully you found something useful in this video. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you on the next one.